Hello to my Virgo and Virgo rising friends, Sondra from For Your Chi, here today to do your October monthly reading for 2023. Thanks for being here. Welcome to your October. Okay, let's get right into it. The usual 6 houses here on YouTube, 1 through 6. The remainder of the readings, the remainder of the houses rather, will be contained in the extended link is below. It's on Patreon. Tier 2 is what you want. Okay. Also, if you want a reading with me, check out the booking link below. You can see my calendar and book at the same time. Your first house, though, where you're at the first couple of days of October, discontent and boredom. You are tired of the way things are going and you're ready for a change. Perhaps the Virgo is restless. Trust that the universe has your back and trust in divine timing that things will change in your favor. The Virgos, I kind of feel like you're in between the hermit and in between wanting to go out. You want to go out, but you're not quite sure where. You're not quite sure with who or how exactly you would enjoy yourself, but you just know that you also don't want to stay home 100% alone. So you're in this between space. It could be weird for the first couple of days, more weird than usual, of October. Let's get to your second house. Accelerated motion with regard to your money or stuff. I definitely would not let anyone borrow anything that you don't want to lose. That includes money, but of course that also includes possessions, particularly not a car or anything like that. This could also be saying yes to some sort of an investment or startup that may have a failure to it. You need to retreat before you answer this person or make a decision on this. Retreat in nature, it's saying, to really examine your thoughts and feelings about this. Your brother and sister, however, they need to take a pause, a time out. It's not time to make any major decisions. They need to focus on their heart's desire and pay attention to the nighttime dreams that they're having because they're receiving information and messages contained therein. If you can talk to them about that, please do. I know some of you can't, and I totally understand. Because believe it or not, I have family that way myself. Regardless of the countless predictions that I have come up with that were 100% accurate. If you can believe that, some of them hate it when I'm right, and therefore they don't want to know. And one is actually a Virgo. Shocking. Your fourth house. Your house of home, where you currently live. Well, it's a bummer. You may be disappointed about something with your home. Perhaps you are disappointed in with regard to where you live, or perhaps you have tried to move and it hasn't quite worked out yet. Perhaps you're disappointed with someone who lives with you. Now, this could also be a disappointment with regard to a father or a father figure. There could be sadness there, or he could be sad. Sometimes the father figure shows up to me in the fourth house. However, you're being shown a sign here. So, I said this in the Leo reading. I feel like this could be true for some Virgos out there. I was getting the words from Abraham Hicks, where there is contrast, it launches a new rocket of desire. So I feel like that is true here with regard to your home. For those of you that want to move, you will get there. You will get there, especially if you're working every day towards that goal. I pulled some extra cards here, okay? We have listen to your intuition. Now, that goes along perfectly with follow the signs. So you're going to not only receive signs, it could be angel numbers, some of you. I'm hearing a lot of people with angel numbers now all of a sudden. I mean, I started getting angel numbers in 2010, 2011. So that to me is just scratching the surface when you consider all of the things that have happened in my own life since then. But that was the beginning of the synchronicity, I should say, not the awakening, of the synchronicity. The awakening happened a long, long time before that. But let's get into this because you got something big here coming in the 5th house. Now, remember, 5th house represents, sometimes kids can show up in the 5th house if you have more than one child. Because usually the one child or the main child, usually the eldest one or the one who's more in your life, shows up in the 11th house, but the second child can show up in the 5th house. This is karma. This is big. This is the 2 of Cups meet the Judgment card in this deck. So either your child has karma indicative of a past lifetime. So whatever in other words, like Annie Botticelli says, for better or for worse. Whatever your child goes through in the month of October, they were destined to do this event or meet this person or whatever this is. If this is not talking about a child, this could be talking about a karmic event that happens within your social circle, dating life. What else? There was one other thing. I just lost track of it. Social circle, dating life, or you in a social event. Now, could this mean, because remember the 5th house does rule dating, could this mean that you meet someone from a past life? Yes. Does it have to be romantic? No. It could be just a friend, but sometimes it is romantic. Sometimes it is that kind of a partner. Now, you do have body care here in the 5th house. I really don't feel like this is body care for you. You would have gotten it in the 6th house. Well, you do have a little something in there, but it's not quite the same. You know what? I'm going to do this. We're going to pull from Archangel Raphael. We're going to pull a card for your 5th house. And we're going to pull a card for your 6th house, just because you Virgos are my special people. 5th house, please. Truth for Virgos. 6th house. Okay. Got it. Got it. You got a body card. You got 2 body. You're not going to believe this. I've never even seen this card in this Raphael deck. Ask your body for a message. So we know that the Virgo is ruled by the solar plexus. And when this event happens, or to whomever this is supposed to happen, if this is someone in your social circle, you will feel it in your solar plexus. Your body will be giving you a message regarding it. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. When you start to feel the feeling coming on, ask it questions. The sensation in your solar plexus will increase if the answer is yes to your question. Ask it yes or no questions. The sensation that you feel in your solar plexus will increase. It will be more intense to yes questions, and it will back off during no answers. Does that make sense? For those of you that have children, multiple children, you may want to start asking questions right now regarding this to get more of a heads up. Okay, wow, that's pretty powerful. One other thing, I also pulled an answer from the angel deck. We got let go here in the 5th house. So let me just say, okay, I'm going to put it like this. When you ask your questions and get the answers, you could have residual feelings in your body as a result of that energetic connection to this person or this situation. You're going to want to cut the cords immediately after you get your answers. Otherwise, you could go on for all night or days and not feel well with your stomach. Okay? That was pretty intense, guys and gals. Your sixth house, stand your ground, stand up for yourself. This is either stand up for yourself with regard to work, your job, your boss, your coworker. This could also be stand up for yourself with regard to a health condition situation. I have seen this card where someone, if this is not talking about your work, someone has been seeing a doctor, or you go to a doctor and they diagnose you and they give you some pills or something, and you go home and you start taking them and they're not working, or it's making it worse. In that case, it's time to call back or get a second opinion and make sure whoever you're talking with, if it's the same office or a different doctor, make sure they're listening to what you're saying. Some of these people are not listening, and they just have this idea in their head that's wrong. So if it's not working, make sure you get to the bottom of it to get it fixed, okay, Virgo? Serenity now. So I pull this card kind of often when I have a work question, a client asking a work question. And I see this card oftentimes in situations regarding work where it's like you're in a toxic work environment, or your boss is toxic, or a coworker is toxic, or your boss could be a screamer. Seriously. I was in one of these situations a long time ago. Long time. Maybe 15 years ago or more. I only lasted 7 weeks there before I quit, but I did get him to quiet down. And I've told this story before. I was working with a girlfriend, and she was taking me to work because we lived close by. And so she would pick me up from work every morning. And on the way to work, she was a Pisces. On the way to work, I said to her, I'm going to quiet him down today. And she laughed at me because he yelled every day. I said, no, you watch. You watch me. So I did a trick that my longtime psychic girlfriend told me, who went on medicine ceremonies with the Native Americans. She followed a Native American tribe. Those were her spiritual beliefs. They call it following the red road. You may have heard of it. So she had given me some tobacco that was blessed by the Indian chief. And I think it was she went to a Sundance. I think it was a Sundance when Leonard Crowdog was still alive. R.I.P. And I put a pinch of this tobacco that she gave me, under his chair before he came into this office. Under his chair in his office. And I said a prayer, and I asked for him to be quiet that day because we were all tired of his screaming. And his wife worked there also. And that was one of the sources of the screaming, was sometimes they would be fighting. And so that morning when they came in together, maybe an hour later after I did that, they were whispering, both of them, in the morning. And I kind of walked over to my friend and I nudged her. I gave her an elbow. Like, hey, what's going on with this? They're whispering, and I'm laughing. And she looked at me. She could not the entire day, this guy was whispering on the phone where he normally yelled and shouted. I mean, it was just hysterical. Now, I can't remember how long that lasted for, but it was at least a day, which is really all my goal setting was to quiet him down for a day. So that's my story about that. Okay, enough rambling. Let's look to see who's in your 7th house of primary relationships. Well, we have a fire sign here. Well, how about that? Does a Virgo ever get a fire sign? I can't remember. Usually it's earth signs and others, right? So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then you got a double sword card here. So I'm calling this the Stalker Aquarius card. Also could be a Gemini, Libra. I feel like we have a different mix of zodiac signs for who's available to you in your 7th house. There's definitely someone here for you in the 7th house, or there's someone coming. This is pretty fascinating. All right, so if you want to join me in the extended, link is below. It's on Patreon. We're going to be going over your house 7 through 12. 7 is primary relationships, including romance, not just romance, but also business partnerships. 8th house of taxes, legal matters, the source of your significant other's income, and intimacy and contracts. Your 9th house of school and travel, your 10th house of career and your mother, your 11th house of your child or your best friend, the 12th house, what's about to happen 3 months from now in January. Take care, everyone.